Okay, so now that we've got this working and we've practiced it and we understand the concepts of plugins and modularity, and we have a boilerplate or a starter package or our own framework to get up and running, we can begin to start bringing all these ideas together. So again, if you can't get it working on CodePen, the likelihood of you getting it working on your website is pretty small. Also, you might find a plugin that you're not sure of how it works or if it did what you expected it. So save yourself some time, practice, try it out in CodePen, and see if you like it before you add it to your page. So we're going to be starting a new website, and starting a new website means going and getting our starter package. So step one is to get or make files, and since this project doesn't exist, we're going to need to make files. But we don't want to make from scratch. We want to have our starting point or our running start into a project. So if we open in desktop, what's going to happen is we're going to clone it and you're going to get all 8 commits. And we don't want that. We just want the zip files. So we want the last version, the latest version. And we're going to be updating Web 2 Starter throughout the quarter. So we want to download zip, not open in desktop, because one, you don't own this, so clone what you own, download what you don't, so you don't own this repo. Two, we don't want all the commits, we just want the running start. So let's go ahead and download the starter package, and I'm going to open this thing up, and there it is. We're going to extract it and rename it to whatever we like. So in this case, how about lettering? Okay, lettering. And so that's the first part, right? Get our files. Now the next thing we need to do is tell GitHub, hey, I'm starting a new project. I'm doing some work here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I probably have a repo called lettering. So let me go ahead and rename this thing. How about lettering JS? Yep. So now I'm going to take this and drop it right into there. And again, the best message ever says, hey, this is just a folder. Do you want to turn it into a repository? Yes, because we know the distinctions between a folder versus a repository. So we're going to create and add this. And since we want to have a starting point, I mean, not a starting point, but a place to always come back to in case we mess up. So a fallback. So we can make our base commit here. You can call it version 0 if you like. It's another way to look at it. Call this thing version 0. You can call this your starting point, whatever you want, right? Basically the first flag in the ground. So how about just version 0? And we're going to make that commit. All right. So now the GitHub desktop app is watching us work, and GitHub knows that we started a new repo, but we've yet to send it to GitHub. Okay, this is all on our computer right now. So we work locally and then we go live. So now we're on step 2, do work. So let's take our lettering.js and drop it in brackets and do some work. So again, I have double checked that all of my extensions are installed, that Emmet and bracket Sass are installed. All right, so install, there's bracket Sass, there's Emmet, check, good. And we can go ahead and begin to edit this thing. So we've gone into CodePen, and here is our pen that we got working. So now it's just a matter of copying and pasting. So the HTML panel follows our index.html. So I'm going to grab that and paste that into index.html there. And let's just call this thing our lettering. Okay. And so HTML, done. So now we're going to take care of our CSS, go into our CSS, grab that, and that references styles.css or mimics styles.css. So open up styles.css, paste that into there. And then about now, we can probably a good time to launch it, and we can take a look at the site. Again, this URL is only going to work for your computer at this point in time, right? We can't share this URL and have it work. So this is our local dev URL. So basically, this is the URL for your testing, right? Your local testing. You'll notice that I made the immunity queries less intensive on the boilerplate, on our Web 2 starter, which is a boilerplate. So there's a desktop size, tablet size, and mobile size, and you'll notice that it's changing there. And once you're done with it, you can change it whatever you like. So using the CSS pseudo classes, I simply just used body before and added some pseudo content or fake content. And you can see here, you can make it change to whatever you like. And look at that live time reloading. Isn't that great? So I'm going to change this back to mobile size, and then once you're done with this, you can just simply remove it. Okay, so here's a comment that says diagnostic styling delete when done. And the diagnostic styling is what we're doing in Web 1. This is that concept, so refer to that lecture. Okay. So there's that. So that's a very helpful thing. I found it helpful to know what size I'm working at as you go. Okay, so we have some basic styling. We understand our media queries. Now we're on to the next panel, which is our scripts.js. Now before we add in our scripts.js, we need to make sure that jQuery is loaded and our plugin is loaded. Okay. So let's go do that. And right here, it looks like I removed the plugin for a second, so now I'm going to put that back there. All right. So back into brackets, and let's make sure that the plugin exists. So index, so we're in our JS folder. Let's check the plugin, and we see that the plugin is indeed blank. So let's go get it. Let's go to lettering.js. Okay, so this is lettering. Let me see if I can spell it right. There it is. So we want the backend, or the code is, and we know the conventions, jQuery the plugin name.js. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and then we don't want the URL to the page that contains the plugin. We want the plugin itself, or just the code for the plugin. So we're going to hit raw, Command A, Command C, and then paste that into right here, right? Nice little comment. It says paste jQuery plugin code here. Paste that in, hit save. And then you don't have to worry about it anymore. If you have to edit a plugin, it's not a very good plugin. Okay. So we can actually close up plugin.js, and then we can go to our scripts.js and make sure that it's there. So back into our scripts.js, we're going to grab in the code for that. And again, the scripts.js is referenced or mimicked by the JS panel. And we can paste our scripts here, and that's good to go. And refresh it. And then we can take a look at it and see that indeed it has applied the plugin, and there are spans with our individual chars. And we can come into styles.css. Now we have those hooks. We can go with char3, gets a color of something. Let's see here, red, and char4 gets a color of, I don't know, aqua. That should be enough. And there's red, but where's our aqua? Well, if we take a look at char4, it's actually the white space, right? Space bar. So a space is a character, hence your space bar. And so I should probably change char4 to char5, and there is our red and aqua. And if I were to decide that I wanted to letter a different word like photosynthesis, it's going to automatically count the characters for me and automatically wrap them in a span. And there's the red and there's the teal. And so now we have this plugin working, and we didn't have to edit very much. So let's recap real fast. Because we use the Webs 2 starter, we didn't have to edit very much. It was a lot of copy and pasting, as it should be. Get it working on CodePen, and then copy it, paste it in, and then tweak it. So here we had to edit the title. We had to edit the content. So majority of your content, or all of your content, is going to go right in here, like in between the body and the start of the script. Okay, because all this JavaScript is loaded before the page is loaded. So jQuery was already loaded for us. We copied and pasted the plugin code, and then immediately saved and closed the file, and never had to worry about it again. And then if we decide to edit our plugin, everything's going to be in scripts.js. And then all of our styling was in styles.css. So the only files we're going to be editing from here on out is index.html, styles.css, and scripts.js. And I think that's a pretty good version 1. Right, so now we're going to take care of step 3, go live. And we see here that GitHub is dutifully watching us work, and we made 4 uncommitted changes. So let's call this thing version 1. I'm going to say like super cool v1. I'm going to commit to master. Right, and again, it's just keeping a track of all of our work. We can click on history here. Here's version 0, here's version 1. and this is wonderful. It's watching you work, and you can go back and you can see what it was before in red and what it is now in green, and it's just watching you type, and it's wonderful. And then we can go in and click on publish. Okay, and if I click on publish, it should go live. So all the files have been published. Again, you publish one time and you sync an infinite number of times. So if we were to make a version 1.5 or version 2, we can go ahead and keep hitting sync. So let's double check that our files are there. And we're going to go to github.com. Let me close up the local dev, and let's go to github.com / your username / what's the name of our repo? Lettering.js. And we see that it is indeed there. So there is all of our files and all of our work. And this is the back end. So now we want the front end to share to people. So we can go into settings and say, hey, GitHub, I got a bunch of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Can you make that into a website? GitHub says, yes, I will do that for free. So we're going to go into settings, and then under GitHub pages, we're going to click on none and choose master branch or our one and only branch. So master branch, hit save on that, and we get this awesome URL right there. And we open up that URL. Okay. My internet is slow, and there is our awesome page. So now we can copy that URL and go back to our repo and click on this nifty edit button, paste it in there, and this is going to be our awesome lettering website. And you can wash, rinse, and repeat this process for any plugin, for any website. Yeah. And so there you go. There is how we've applied all of this.